good evening. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a good week. I'm really happy that we get to spend some time together right now. And I have a lot planned for today for this little ASMR bedtime show. And here's a short preview of what you can expect.
Basically what they've been doing for a really long time, and since they couldn't get it, they decided to be hostile.
Now this right here is a Rockshi, I believe, or it might be the second version of the Rockshi. This is a Bionicle, and these were really popular in the early 2000s.
Without a problem or care in the world, and just relinquish and let go of anything you want taken away.
Most people have never been taught how to breathe. And I can't imagine anything that's more powerful to change your both mental state and physical state than regulating the breath.
The chair is not ideal for working. I would personally say that's the only complaint that I have. But aside from that, I really like the artwork. I found some really nice unintentional ASMR this week, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. The first one I received from a viewer who actually took the time to send an email to me, and he recommended a pretty nice Japanese channel of an artist creating, it's called lacquerware. It's also something that I saw in Myanmar and in Bali a few times, but the Japanese guy really puts a lot of effort into creating these bowls and carving them and creating different bands, and the sounds it makes are the scratching sounds especially. I really enjoyed. Unfortunately, the background noise was quite loud, so I had to try to reduce the background noise levels a bit. I always like to listen to interviews of people, be it celebrities or non-celebrities, and look for nice voices, maybe unexpectedly nice and relaxing voices. And one of those is Axl Rose, who you might know as the front singer of Guns N' Roses, one of the most popular rock and roll bands of the 90s. You might know their songs such as November Rain, or Sweet Child of Mine, or Paradise City. I can't say I'm a huge fan, but there was a time that I really listened to this one album, Appetite for Destruction, quite a lot. It's catchy, it has good guitar riffs played by the legendary guitarist Slash, and it's just one of those cool bands in this era that was kind of trashy, kind of like Poison or Whitesnake, but also pretty good. I don't know, the songwriting of November Rain, even though it's kind of a cliche song, it's just pretty good. And I like some songs like Yesterdays. Axl Rose, when he's singing, he has kind of a raspy, shrill, nasal voice almost, but the interesting thing is when he's talking in interviews, it's a very low, bassy voice that is very nice to listen to as far as I'm concerned. And this is why I looked up some interviews by Axl Rose, the front singer, who, by the way, is very much a hermit, I think, and he rarely gives any interviews, and he hates social media, which makes him all the more, I guess, likable, I would say, personally. And I know that he was replacing the front singer of AC/DC recently, and they had a comeback album, which was probably not that successful, but in any case, here you go, some interviews by Axl Rose. And if you don't know him, you're probably too young.
A review of that piece somewhere else, and was like, kudos to Spin Magazine for not bowing and scraping for an interview, when the facts are that that's basically what they've been doing for a really long time, and since they couldn't get it, they decided to be hostile. And that was a test contract, basically, because of certain situations we've had with the English press that we tested in Rio. And the most outrage that we really got was from the magazines that we were having problems with to begin with. You know, and because we weren't going to talk to them anyway, and then they saw that and went running with it. But no, we're not trying to control everything. We just want what we said, or anything we say, to be in the proper context and to be something we really said.
We lost $1 million worth of equipment in that show, and I don't see anybody else taking any responsibility for anything. I'm saying, yeah, I jumped off stage, and yeah, things went haywire after that, and maybe I could have handled it better or whatever, but no one was really handling anything at that point, so I took it into my own hands with what I could do. And what crossed my mind at that time, because I'd been pretty much pushed to the limit by their lack of security. But I don't see anybody else in St. Louis really taking any responsibility for anything that happened.
So one great unintentional ASMR video is by JHR Reviews, I think. It's a person doing ASMR style reviews. I'm not sure if it's intentional ASMR, but it's quite soft-spoken, and he usually reviews smaller products, like probably China products, I'm not sure, but he actually contacted me and proposed that I review his channel for unintentional ASMR, and I really like it, and I want to show you a clip where he presents some 90s toys that he apparently found in his basement, and it includes some Bionicles and Shrek, and it's pretty cool. He has a nice voice, so check his channel out as well. So here it is.
And here's the first toy that I pulled out. Let's see. Will my YouTube channel be successful? Yes. Yes, it will be. Oh man, here we go. Now this right here is a Rockshi, I believe, or it might be the second version of the Rockshi. This is a Bionicle, and these were really popular in the early 2000s. I actually got a little bit later in life, and this is actually a collectible, surprisingly. So this is Shrek, and super popular when I was a kid, and I absolutely loved Shrek. It was a really good, kind of like, I don't know, anti-hero kind of movie with a kind of interesting hero character, and it's got memetized quite a bit.
I also want to more and more present some smaller channels, which are usually the channels that I do enjoy the most. And one of them is called Peaceful Mind ASMR. She is an ASMR artist who has been doing it for several years as well. She has once been featured on the channel of Ephemeral Rift. She's very creative. I mean, she sings amazingly. She creates her songs. She draws really well. She has nice props. She's very creative with like some space stories and different nurse stories. And if the world would work according to my wishes, this would be one of the most popular channels, and not these women being half naked, but that's another discussion to have had. In any case, I like everything about her. She has a nice voice. She seems to be very gentle, a very interesting person, somebody who would make a good girlfriend material. And in this video, she's basically some kind of monster doctor, I think. In general, I really like her props, and this is one of the videos where I like her makeup and everything she does. So please check out the channel Peaceful Mind, and here are some of the great moments from this video. Please check it out.
Hello there, my name is Madam CZ, and welcome to the spa for monsters and, well, any other creature that you could think of, really. That's right. Let's get I will do some hand moisturizer. You know, looking at your nails, they're a bit dull. Have you been shining your nails regularly? No. You know, because I like you so much, for no extra charge, I will do a bit of nail buffing and polishing. Alright. Well, I'll do that after the hand lotion, the hand massage. Get some more. So I'm not going to do anything too fancy, just a little bit of buffing and polishing, okay? Alright. Sit back and relax. Like sandpaper. You should really do this more often. I mean, they would have a nice shine.
Another one of these a bit unusual channels is by Neil Cooper. He's a Reiki master. He always emphasizes that he's a trained and certified Reiki master. Whatever that means, I don't want to be mean. I think he does a great job. And he is from the UK. He has his own Reiki business, probably you could say. And he does these Reiki sessions usually, where he basically goes through the process, and he even says that you can receive healing even through a video, apparently. So this is one of his sessions where he basically does ASMR Reiki healing, and at first I found his voice to be a bit shaky at the beginning, during the intro at least, but then when he does his Reiki healing session, it becomes quite calm, and really you can really feel the love and the gentleness that he puts into everything he does, and I really like his channel. So check out Neil Cooper, and this is one of my favorite videos, one of his most popular videos also, but he has many others, so check it out just briefly.
Welcome to your Reiki session. I'm Neil Cooper, a Reiki master, fully qualified and insured. And today we're going to do another healing on the healing bed. If you'd like to come over and take a seat. So the Reiki healing, it's highly beneficial for mind, body, spirit and soul. It will help mental and physical disharmonies of the spirit and pass on to the physical life and mind. So you'll benefit from that greatly. Very harmonizing. You can sometimes find when you have a Reiki healing that it makes you quite tired afterwards because a deep healing is going on. So you need to rest if you can. Okay, friend. Just lay comfortably and relax. Just going to hold your shoulder a minute. You can keep your eyes open, or any time you wish to close them, just do so. I'd like you just to take in a few deep breaths and feel the air going in through your nose and coming out through your nose. Feel the air coming in through your nose and out through your nose. Feeling your body becoming heavier and heavier and heavier. And the comfort and the peace and the serenity of the healing. And relax, my friend. Begin to drift off into a very nice place. Tranquil and peaceful. And let go. Without a problem or care in the world. And just relinquish and let go of anything you want taken away. That's it, friend, relax. Just taking a deep breath and breathe out and relax. And taking another deep breath and breathe out and relax. Find that beautiful, peaceful, serene place where you can feel positive and happy without a care or worry in the world. Invigorated by the power of healing. To go out and be positive in your life. To take away any disharmonies, any worries, traumas. Any anxiety or fears, stresses or strains, anything that troubles you in life, dear friend, lift it away, lift it away.
Another great ASMR artist, another great male ASMR artist is Paris ASMR. He has been doing ASMR also for at least 5 years, I think. And the fact that he does most of his videos in French maybe makes him a bit less popular, but he's one of the biggest, definitely. Next to Made in France ASMR, who's also really good. And he's not only very handsome, but he also has a very nice, soft, articulate French accent. He also plays in a band, interestingly enough. I looked up his music. It's not really the music that I would personally be listening to, but he has a nice voice and he plays the keyboard, I think. And I always have a lot of love for artistic types and people who make music. So check out this video where he unpacks some chocolates, and it's in French, so I'm not gonna make it too long, but check it out.
J'espère que tu écoutes un peu de vidéo ASMR, que cela te permet de passer de belles nuits relaxantes. Aluminium doré, comme un lingot d'or. Il faut l'ouvrir avec minutie.
is, I think, a South Korean ASMR artist. It's already, I think, 1 or 2 years old, but it was a very, one of the clips that got a lot of views. It's basically some kind of ASMR beauty clinic, I think, and it's also in Korean, but it's just so well done. I mean, everything is great sound quality, and listening to Korean, I don't know, it's a bit anime vibe for me, but she has a nice voice. The video is just so good that I wanted to show it to you, at least some moments of it. So the name is Donna ASMR, I think, and here are some moments that I really enjoyed about it.
그러면 나가서 잠시만 기다리시면 레이저 시술 준비해서 바로 시작하도록 할게요. 네, 저쪽으로. 이거 클렌징 폼이에요. 눈 감아주세요. 네. 네. 저희 병원은 처음이세요. 레이저 시술은 전에 받아보신 적 있으세요? 아, 진짜요?
A no talking clip by a channel called, I think, Nomadic Traveler. It's a channel where a person usually just walks in a city and records the audio, oftentimes when it's raining, and I really like it, not only because the sound quality is surprisingly good. I don't know where the mic is attached exactly, but it's a really nice 3D surround setting, but also because it's so nice to get to know a city and to get into the mood of a city, and for that I think audio is so important. And in this channel also the person very often walks through Japan, and in this video the person walks through Shinjuku, I think, in Tokyo, and this is a pretty nice district. I mean, it's not the nicest, I guess, it's the one where big buildings are and big shopping malls, but also one of the most famous ones because I think the cosplay people are there sometimes, at least, and this big crossing is there as well. And I don't know, I just really enjoyed watching this because I miss Japan. It's kind of weird, but usually when I travel to a place I don't really miss people or things in general. But in this case, I don't know why, but there's some things about Japan that I miss. It's kind of like a dreamland in a way. It's like a different realm or something, a different reality almost, and this is something that I kind of miss. And all these vending machines standing everywhere where they sell this Boss coffee and these weird drinks, most of which I never heard of, and all these nice restaurants where they show the products outside, like they have these 3D models where they show you the different meals. I mean, everything you eat just tastes amazing in a way, so I do miss Japan in a way, and watching this gave me a nice feeling of nostalgia and listening to the ambience. By the way, what I also really like about Japan is that people are very careful and thoughtful of your privacy, and they're not so loud and harsh. Be it in the metro, they never call. Nobody is like talking super loudly to a friend, and the cars drive very carefully. Nobody tries to like ram you or be quicker, so there's a general politeness, and I guess it fits well with my introverted nature in a way, so here's the clip. I was thinking quite a lot about ideas and how useful they are actually, because I listened to John Butler, who has an amazing voice, and I'm gonna make another video just about him, I'm sure. He basically said back in the day he read a lot of philosophy because he wanted to know the meaning of life and so on, but he says that he never really learned anything from the books in a way, and he also never really learned something from his own thoughts, but his best teacher was nature. And this is something that I have been thinking of quite a lot this week. How useful is it to read about philosophy? How useful is it to digest some quotes by some people? How useful is it to read about the intricate thoughts of some philosopher or some intellectual, where you think, yeah, I mean, it does make sense, but it doesn't really capture the essence. Words never really capture the essence, I feel, and this kind of hit close to home in a way, because I feel like neither my own thoughts nor the thought of some other people, be it intellectuals or politicians or historians or philosophers, can really give me the key to finding meaning and a fulfilled life. Maybe it has to be something that you discover yourself, or it has to be something that can only be found in a place where there's no mind, where there's no thinking, but just something else. Maybe nature, maybe just being, maybe love, what you would call love nowadays. But the problem is also words are so misleading. Words are not the right tools to really explain the world, but also not the right tools to understand the world, I feel. worlds are just like a hammer, basically. They're good for certain things, like putting a nail into a wall, but using a hammer for painting a picture is kind of difficult, and this is why I feel sometimes words are not that useful to these deeper questions. And this is why I'm not gonna say that many other words. I'm just gonna be still and quiet. What do you think? I also always think about practical ways how to find more calm, how to have more peace of mind in my life. And there was one bit that I found very valuable. Kind of contradicts what I just said about thoughts and ideas, but in this case it's something that you can directly apply to your life. It's a real life practical tip that I find quite useful and that I have been using in my own life, so I want to talk about it a bit. So basically it's by Aubrey Marcus. He's interviewing an older person. I would have to look up the name now. And this older person has been a writer. He wrote many books and he has been at the forefront of modern medicine and psychedelics. And in general, I can really recommend Aubrey Marcus's podcast. He is the CEO of the company Onnit. He is an interesting person. He tried the whole open relationship thing, and now he's doing monk mode for like half a year or something. He's very open to psychedelics, and he's a smart man, and he has a good podcast. And in this podcast, he talks to this person, and they talk about different ways to live differently, about nutrition, about medicine. I found quite interesting what this guest had to say about breathing exercises. So here's what he had to say.
Because a lot of these things people are catching on to. People are catching on to food. They're catching on to, psychedelic medicine. Yep. They're catching on to some of these things. What are some of the other things that people are still kind of sleeping on?
Well, I'm a great proponent of breath control and breathing exercise. It's so simple. And that's, most people have never been taught how to breathe. And I can't imagine anything that's more powerful to change your both mental state and physical state than regulating the breath. I teach that to almost everybody that I meet. And there's so little research on it because people don't take it seriously. How could anything so simple possibly have an effect? Doesn't involve a drug, doesn't involve a device. But I think that's one of the most important keys to good physical and mental health.
No doubt. What's your breathing practice? What do you prefer?
I do a number. Well, first of all, just observing the breath, I think, is very useful. Another is
becoming conscious of that unconscious behavior.
Yeah, I think when you pay attention to your breath, you're putting your mind in neutral. There's far worse places to have your attention, such as on your thoughts or on images in your mind. So it's like a safe place to put your attention. And then you want to try, whenever you think about it, try to make your breathing deeper, slower, quieter, and more regular. Those are the 4 qualities of breath you want to develop. To make your breath deeper, you want to work with exhalation because that's the phase that's under more voluntary control. So you want to practice squeezing more air out of your lungs at the end of a breath, and you automatically take more air in. And that is a good thing, to get more air out and more air in. If you watch people who are afraid, upset, anxious, breathing is always rapid, shallow, noisy, irregular.
Yeah, chest breathing.
Those two things can't go together. You can't be in an agitated state of mind and breathe deeply, slowly, quieter, and more regular. So those are good things to work on. Yeah. Then there's a specific breath exercise that I teach called the 4-7-8 breath. And if you Google my name and on YouTube, you'll get videos of how to do it. It's in all my books. But it's very simple. It's like breathing in quietly to a count of 4, holding your breath for a count of 7, and forcefully blowing air out through your mouth to a count of 8. Doing that for 4 breath cycles at minimum of twice a day. And you got to do this religiously because you're putting a signal into your involuntary nervous system. And the goal is to change the tone of the involuntary nervous system. If you do this, you got to do this minimum twice a day. Okay. And the really interesting stuff happens after about 6 weeks of regular practice. And I usually tell people at the end of a month, if you're comfortable, go up to 8 breath cycles.
This is an accurate statement. I mean, if there's maybe one single skill that you could be using to become more calm, it might be your breath. As the guy says, it's something that's free. It's something that you can do wherever you are, and it's something that can really change your whole brain chemistry, your state, and can turn like a depressed state into a pretty happy state. And it's one of the most amazing tools that maybe we don't hear that much about because people can't make money off of it. They can't sell any products off of it really. They can't teach any courses off of it really. So I think it's an underestimated skill. And the way I use it mostly, I don't really do the, 3-8-8 breathing technique. But I just breathe in and then hold my breath for like 3-4 seconds and then breathe out as long as I can. So for me it's more of a 3-5-5 maybe, or 3-4-5 maybe, because I don't like it when I have to push out the air for 8 seconds. That's too long for me for some reason. I get a bit anxiety when I do this. So for me it's more of a 3-4-5, 3 seconds breathing in, 4 seconds holding it in, 5 seconds breathing out slowly. That's kind of what I tend to do. And also in general, trying to be aware of my breathing, because when I get nervous or tense, the first thing I notice is some kind of tension here, as if somebody would be sitting on my chest or something, or as if there would be something stuck in my chest. And it's not a nice feeling, and it's kind of a narrow feeling, and instead of an open feeling. So I try to be aware of this and try to, as soon as I notice this kind of narrowness here in my stomach, in my chest and in my neck, I try to open it up again by doing a breathing exercise, by trying to relax my muscles. And this is one of the most important things as far as I'm concerned that you can do in your daily life. You can make it a routine, or you can just use it as a tool whenever you feel this kind of tension and pressure building up. It's something you can do while sitting on the way to work, or you can do this as well when you're walking. It's a great exercise, and it's not a coincidence that it's one of the key parts of yoga, of meditation. You could probably ask most yoga teachers what's the one key thing that you would recommend to have a better life. It's breathing more consciously. And I think one of the key elements of yoga is actually breathing, right? And also with most meditation techniques, you learn it first by focusing on your breath. And so your breath is so important, not only for living obviously, but also as one of the few doorways to calm and peace that you can actively influence. Because I don't even know if you can really influence your thoughts. Try to think your negative thoughts away. That's almost impossible. But what you can do is becoming aware of your breaths. And there's also in the book by Eckhart Tolle, which is called, I think, 7 Doorways to Nowness or something, to the present moment, where he basically explains practical techniques on how to get to the present state. One of them is the breath. So this is something that I also want to ritualize more and do it maybe every day twice. That's maybe a good idea. I don't know if I want to do these cycles of 8, but just maybe 6 breaths. And in the book by Aubrey Marcus, he also writes that there's Japanese studies that show that just 5 deep and conscious breaths can basically lower your heart rate and decrease your stress level significantly. So do this more and practice to breathe. Yeah, this week I found some pretty cool pictures again, and I decided to make another segment, namely of some, it's called Isometric room pictures, I think. So it's basically, you see a room basically like it's cut in half, and you're looking into the room from the side, and it's kind of like in a pixel isometric graphic style that maybe has been done by Blender or Cinema 4D or some other graphics program. And I just really like these pictures. It makes me, I don't know, really happy to look at them, and this is why I decided to show them to you. So the first one is actually a video. I really like the window where the light light is shining in, basically. There's like a neon sign on the wall saying "Buy the booth." I mean, just looking at the wood at the side, this looks so cool. The chair and the notebook and the radio standing there, and with a cool DSLR camera. This could be my workplace, basically. And the chair also is one of these fancy chairs that I really like. On the small cupboard there's a Rubik's Cube, and there's like a fan standing there as well. So this is one of these cool places where I could really work really well in. Okay, so next there's a Pokemon themed room, I guess. So basically you have the Pokemon logo and a nice TV screen where there's a big Pikachu. Actually, it might be Detective Pikachu on there. Maybe the person is just watching the film, or he or she is playing the new Sword and Shield game, which has some negative reviews, by the way, but whatever. This is really cool Pokemon poster, which I think is from one of the first Pokemon movies where Mewtwo fights Mew. And then there's like one of those terminals that are in the Pokemon centers on the left, where you can store your Pokemon and get the ones that you need for your team. And then there's a really nice couch where you could chill, even with a Pokemon hat that Ash always wears. And probably there's a Switch. Yeah, there's a Switch down there, I see it, I think, below the TV. And if I could do it, I probably would add a PlayStation as well. And then there's a cool picture where you see Bulbasaur and Charmander and Squirtle, the three legendary, and as far as I'm concerned, by far the best starter Pokemon still, which unfortunately I think they don't even have in the newest Pokemon Sword and Shield game. They just don't have most of these first and second and third generation. Like most of the favorite Pokemons aren't even included into this new game, which is quite unfortunate. Yeah. And then you see lots of different Pokeballs. I think that there's like Mega Balls and like Master Balls, maybe even. There's another nice poster where you see Blastoise and Charmander and some other cool items, which is I think a Pokeflute. Then there's the different badges that you can get, and two types of trophies, which is maybe the trophies you get when you win the Pokemon League. I'm not sure. There's a small Jigglypuff puppet as well. Probably there's some other details, but just in general, creating this and rendering all of this must take a whole day or 2 days to do it. Yeah, so this again looks like an amazing room where a gaming / entertainment / sleeping room. I mean, me personally, I would prefer a bit of a bigger bed, and it's nice to have a separate room for your office. And I personally don't need a TV in my sleeping room, but aside from that, and it looks like a great gaming setup. I mean, that's all you need. I would maybe put the PC on the ground, but aside from that, that's all you need to play well and to do creative things. And also the TV setup looks pretty great. It has like a smart TV thing on there. It looks like the Samsung smart TV. And maybe just watching Netflix, watching the new season of Rick and Morty maybe. Okay, this is a bit of a smaller room even. This one looks like 14 square meters maybe. But it's pretty high at least. And I just like the way it was done. It's one of those gaming setups where I think it's not necessary to really have 3 monitors. But I guess if you're stock trading or whatever, or if you're a music producer, then it's fine. Or if you're a streamer. And in general, and he has one of those, or he or she has one of those gaming chairs that PewDiePie sells. And for some reason has a MacBook. I don't know why. No, it's all good. I had a MacBook once as well. And I like the skateboard and the guitar and the cool posters. The Pulp Fiction poster, the Star Wars posters, the Skyrim poster especially, one of my favorite games. There's something written on there. Everybody lies, no exceptions. Okay. There's a calendar. I think that's a pretty cool student room, I guess. This, the basketball, the slippers as well. It's really small, but I like the big bed. I don't know, I like the narrowness of everything. It makes me feel cozy. It doesn't give me angst that some people might get, actually. Yeah, this is another really cool room, very well made. The textures of the wood are just so amazing. This looks really like an artist room with a nice Apple workstation there. I guess it's fine if you're a graphics designer, then it's not so bad. The chair is not ideal for working. I would personally say that's the only complaint that I have. But aside from that, I really like the artwork that is displayed on there. I think the one above the bookshelf, I feel like I know this kind of artwork. I'm not sure where from. But other than that, this looks like a very cozy room where you could do some great art, especially this kind of place where you stand and draw something nice. This would be maybe the perfect workspace for some comic book artist or some kind of independent artist. Yeah, this is also a really cool room. It's a bit of a different art style, a bit less pixels, I guess, but still very cool. Very small though, very old PCs, so you can only play Tetris on there and maybe Snake. But it's a very cool retro look. That's probably what they're going for. Some cool books. There's a poster which might be Star Wars as well. The coolest thing probably is that there's like an arcade standing there, which takes a lot of room, but still would be so cool having one of those. Although I have to admit, I never really played arcades. I don't know, it wasn't a big thing where I grew up, but I wish I did. And always when I see one, I want to play with it. And this looks like one of those, like Space Invader or something maybe. I'm not sure which game it is. And then finally a really cool room where you have a workstation, a PC, and also a surfboard, a skateboard, and some cool pictures and some cool books as well. This could be a really good place to work in. And there's even a small notebook there. There are some good speakers, so maybe it's the music producer. Or like me, I also kind of like to produce music, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, this one is pretty nice as well. Again, it has one of those gaming setups with, I think, either it's 2 monitors or it's a very big curved monitor. I think it might be a curved monitor, which is pretty cool. A friend of mine has one of those from Samsung, I think. The door is open and it looks like it's snowing outside almost, but whatever. The bed looks very cozy. I just like the shadows and everything. It looks almost photorealistic. I just like, the amount of detail this person put into this picture is just very impressive to me. And it makes me just want to stay in there, and just having this kind of home base and just snuggling in there is very appealing to me. I also wanted to give you a preview of another video that I made for this channel, which is a video I made specifically for people who have a hard time falling asleep, because this week there was a few nights where I just couldn't fall asleep, and it took me like 2-3 hours, and I don't know, I didn't really find those ASMR videos to be super relaxing, especially the ones which are called "This Will Make You Fall Asleep," or it's like almost all videos are called "This Will Make You Fall Asleep," or ASMR for people who can't get tingles or something. So, but then it doesn't have anything to do with the title. But I wanted to create a video specifically for people who are stuck in their head and get a bit panicky because they can't fall asleep. So basically, I created different soundscapes and also kind of a story where you can travel to different places with different sounds and also a different relaxing monologue as if you were there. So in any case, just check it out. Here's a preview. It took me quite a while to make and has been quite effective for me personally to fall asleep as well, and I think it could be helping you as well. I can't fall asleep. Why is this happening to me? I just got this perfect cocktail, non-alcoholic, which I'm gonna drink now. It's one of these amazing fruit cocktails a mango lassi. It's my favorite. Take a little walk at the beach. Pick up some coconuts if I see them. Pick up some nice seashells that I can bring home. It's getting darker. It's still not cold yet though. I really enjoy it. Maybe I'm gonna put some spray around me to make sure there's no mosquitoes. And honestly, it's also a good smelling spray, so and make a little picnic. Eat our sandwiches. Drink a lot of water. It's perfect because it's the perfect weather to relax and rest. We had a very friendly lady give us some towels and explain some things to us in Japanese, which we didn't understand.
こんにちは。あれからめまいや頭痛はどうですか?
We can make some s'mores. I even have the right chocolate and everything you need for some s'mores. Yeah, that's a good idea. What I could also do is writing a bit. I have so many stories in my head. Maybe I could write it on paper. This always feels closest to my heart. Alright, thank you so much for being here with me. I really had a great time, and I hope you have a good day or a good evening and good rest of the week. And I'm really looking forward to spending time with you again.